I'm Ankita Robin and welcome to SD Global News. From a rare Marian festival in Indonesia that brings Muslims and Christians together to the inspiring journey of baby Barrett, a preemie who defied the odds and is heading home after more than 400 days in the hospital, we have many stories to cover. A Marian festival in Indonesia is set to bring together Christians and Muslims in a rare display of interfaith harmony. Hosted in the Diocese of Labuan Bajo, the event features a shared procession and prayer gathering. Vatican News reports that the celebration promotes religious unity and peaceful coexistence in one of the world's most diverse countries.
A 5-week Marian procession, bringing Christians and Muslims together, has been underway since July 9th in the Diocese of Labuan Bajo on Flores Island, Indonesia. Hosted by St. Martin's Parish in Bari, the interfaith event follows a long-standing local tradition that honors the Virgin Mary. As reported by Vatican News, the event features joint prayer, music, and a symbolic walk drawing hundreds from both faith communities. The celebration promotes mutual respect and peaceful coexistence in a region known for its religious diversity. Local parish leaders reported that Muslims voluntarily participated in planning and joined the procession. They offered flowers and greetings in honor of Mary, a figure held in high regard within Islam. The initiative reflects a gathering effort to strengthen interreligious ties. Church authorities cited the event as an example of inclusive spirituality. Vatican News noted that the diocese had been actively fostering dialogue with Muslim neighbors through cultural and religious events. According to a diocesan spokesperson, the festival's success highlights the community's mutual values and spiritual solidarity. Church officials noted that such celebrations could serve as models of harmony in other parts of the world. The gathering continues throughout the week with evening programs and community meals.
The Vatican is preparing to host its first ever Jubilee for Catholic influences and digital missionaries. The two-day gathering in Rome is scheduled for July 28th and 29th, featuring prayer, music, and the debut of an original hymn. Vatican officials say the event aims to strengthen faith-based communication online and foster a global sense of spiritual connection.
In an exciting development, the Vatican is set to host its first Jubilee for Catholic influencers and digital missionaries on July the 28th and 29th. This event is part of Church's wider Jubilee year celebrations and aims to empower digital missionaries from around the world. According to the Vatican's official news portal, the program for this unprecedented gathering will include a prayer vigil, mass, formation sessions, and introduction of a newly composed hymn dedicated to online evangelists. Participants are expected to join from across the globe. The Dicastery for Communication noted that this Jubilee emphasizes spiritual engagement in virtual spaces. Representatives highlighted the growing influence of Catholic content creators in spreading faith-based messages, especially among younger audience. The gathering will provide influencers with a unique opportunity to reflect on their mission and align their creativity with Christian teachings. Church leaders affirmed that digital platforms have become vital spaces for dialogue, encouragement, and maintaining a spiritual presence. The initiative is described as a bridge connecting online communities with the global Catholic community, fostering shared values and a positive expression of the gospel in the digital realm. The program will take place at the San Lorenzo Youth Center and various venues throughout the Vatican headquarters, creating an inclusive atmosphere for digital missionaries to unite and celebrate their faith. This Jubilee is not only a milestone for the Church, but also a recognition of the important role that digital influencers play in contemporary evangelization.
Nearly 1 in 3 pregnancies in England and Wales are now ending in abortion, according to new government data that shows a sharp rise over the past decade. Pro-life advocates, including church leaders and campaigners, have called the figures a national tragedy, linking the surge to at-home abortion schemes and a growing disregard for unborn life. The news comes just weeks after British MPs voted to decriminalize abortion entirely, a move critics warn could further increase late-term abortions and weaken protections for the unborn.
Nearly 1 in 3 pregnancies in England and Wales are being terminated. According to information released on July the 9th by the Office for National Statistics, in 2022, 29.7% of all conceptions in England and Wales ended in abortion, up from 26.5% a year earlier. The figures represent a huge increase in abortions within the last decade. In response to the news, Archbishop John Sherrington, lead bishop for life issues for the Bishops' Conference, stated, "We need rapidly to re-establish a culture of life in which the unborn child is properly protected in legislation and in which we also provide compassionate assistance to those parents facing trauma as a result of their pregnancy." Spokesperson for Right to Life UK, Catherine Robinson, termed it a national tragedy. She equated the dramatic rise in abortion to the pills by post schemes that have been operating in England and Wales for the past 2 years. On June 17, 2025, British MPs voted overwhelmingly in favour of an amendment tabled by Labour MP Tonia Antoniazzi, decriminalising abortion at any stage without legal repercussion. If the amendment becomes law, abortion will no longer be a crime and would likely lead to a significant increase in the number of women performing late-term abortions at home.
Pope Leo XIV paid a special visit from Castel Gandolfo to the monastery of the Immaculate Conception of the Poor Clares of Albano, nestled within the papal villas, where he was warmly welcomed by the Poor Clare nuns. The visit was marked by touching moments of tenderness, evident in the joyful and grateful expressions of the Sisters of St. Clare, whose mission is to pray for the Pope, the Church, and all of Vatican City.
Located within the papal villas, Pope Leo XIV made his first quick trip from Castel Gandolfo to visit the monastery of the Immaculate Conception of the Poor Clares of Albano. After celebrating the Mass on July 15th in Castel Gandolfo, the Holy Father headed to the monastery where he was welcomed by the nuns, Sisters of St. Clare, whose mission is to pray for the Pope, for the Church, and for all the Vatican City. The pontiff paused to pray in the monastery chapel, sharing a moment of silence and reflection with the sisters. He later greeted each one of them individually, highlighting that it is beautiful that the Church knows your life because it is a valuable testimony. Founded in 1631 during the pontificate of Urban VIII, the monastery of the Poor Clares of Albano maintains a special bond with the Holy See since its origins. According to the official website of the Vatican City State, the monastery was founded due to the generosity of Princess Caterina Savelli and the Prince and Princess of Albano, who donated it to Sister Francesca Farnese, founder of the Farnese Monastery in Viterbo and a key figure in promoting a stricter observance of the Poor Clare rule. Over the centuries, the nuns have led lives of silence, prayer, and contemplation within the monastery, remaining faithful to the charism of Saint Clare of Assisi. The community has also welcomed visits from various pontiffs, particularly during the summer months. Pope Francis visited the community for the first time in July 2013, where he emphasized the incalculable value the sisters attribute to prayer. Pope Benedict XVI visited the monastery in 2007 and St. John Paul II in August 1979. Mindful of this tradition, Pope Leo XIV also chose to visit the sisters before departing. He signed the monastery's Book of Honor and joined the community in praying the Lord's Prayer. As a gesture of gratitude, the Holy Father gifted the community community a chalice and paten for the use in celebration of Mass. In return, the sisters presented him with an icon of the face of Jesus.
Pope Leo XIV's childhood home has been sold to the village of Dalton, a suburb south of Chicago, where the property is located. The village is purchasing the 1949 Cape Cod-style house for $375,000. Local officials described this acquisition as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity when they voted unanimously to approve the purchase earlier this month.
In a significant development for the village of Dalton, Illinois, the childhood home of Pope Leo XIV has been purchased by the village for $375,000. This transaction was finalized on July the 8th following a unanimous vote by the village's Board of Trustees on July the 1st. The town plans to transform the quaint three-bedroom residence, which belonged to the Prevost family for nearly 50 years, into a historical site. Since the election of the first US-born pope, this home has gained popularity as a tourist attraction, drawing visitors interested in the origins of Pope Leo XIV. Dr. Nakita Cloud, the spokesperson for Dalton, spoke with sgnews, stating that the purchase could open avenues for federal and state funding tied to historic preservation, tourism development, and community revitalization. The Pope's childhood home continues to attract busloads of tourists, injecting new energy and attention into the village. The spokesperson further tells this increased traffic represents a new day in Dalton, full of potential, progress, and promise. Pope Leo XIV, born to Lily Prevost and Mildred Martinez on September 14, 1955, is the youngest of three siblings. He lived in Dalton until he departed for minor seminary after middle school, laying the foundation for a journey that would lead him to the papacy. With the village's commitment to preserving this piece of history, Dalton is poised to celebrate its connection to Pope Leo XIV, providing a remarkable opportunity for cultural tourism and community engagement as plans for the site continues to develop.
Every year on the last Sunday of July, thousands of pilgrims climb Croagh Patrick, a sacred mountain in County Mayo, Ireland, in honor of St. Patrick. Known as Reek Sunday, the tradition commemorates the saint's legendary 40-day fast on the summit. Thousands of pilgrims are expected to scale Ireland's Croagh Patrick on Sunday, July 27, to honor St. Patrick. Located in County Mayo, Croagh Patrick is regarded as a holy mountain where, according to legend, St. Patrick fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. The legend holds that his fast only ended when God agreed to spare Ireland from final desolation. Archaeological evidence confirms the existence of a stone chapel on the summit of Croagh Patrick, also known as the Reek, as early as the 5th century. The current chapel, built in the early 20th century, remains the focal point for Mass celebrations on Reek Sunday, held annually on the last Sunday of July. On that day, Masses will be celebrated every hour from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. and the Sacrament of Reconciliation will also be available at the summit. Each year, approximately 20,000 pilgrims climb the mountain, many doing so barefoot as an act of penance. This year, in observance of the Jubilee Year of Hope, the Catholic Church in Ireland, led by Bishop Fintan Monaghan, the Irish Episcopal Conference's delegate for the Jubilee, has launched a Pilgrim Passport initiative. Inspired by the Camino Passport, this new initiative allows pilgrims to collect stamps at 3 Irish pilgrimage sites, Croagh Patrick and Knockshrine in County Mayo and Lodurg in County Donegal, serving as a tangible reminder of their spiritual journey. Christian communities in Nigeria have once again fallen prey to an attack by Fulani herdsmen. On July 11th, Fulani herdsmen killed 5 Christians and injured 3 others in northwest Nigeria's Kaduna state. The attack took place during a Bible study and prayer service at an evangelical church, Winning Old Church site in Kampani village, Kajuri County, when Fulani bandits stormed the gathering.
On July 11th, 5 Christians were killed and 3 were injured by Fulani herdsmen in an area of northwest Nigeria's Kaduna state. In Kajuru County, Fulani bandits attacked an evangelical church-winning all-Bible study and prayer service in Kampani village, killing Victor Haruna, Dogara Jatau, Luka Yari, Jesse Dalami, and Bawu John, said one of the residents, Philip Adams. Residents said that the attack at the church site took place at about 3:30 p.m. on Friday, July 11th. In a text message to Christian Daily International Morning Star News, one of the residents, Happiness Daniel, described the situation, stating that most communities in Kajuru and Kachia local council areas in southern Kaduna state are living in constant fear. People can no longer sleep in their homes or go to their farms due to the ongoing insecurity. According to the villagers, Kajuru County has been a site of at least 110 kidnappings from predominantly Christian villages in the first 6 months of this year. On June 28, Fulani herdsmen raided the Christian village of Bauda and kidnapped village head Obeda Iguda in Kafuna district at about 1 a.m. Stephen Maikori, a community leader, shared that this senseless act of violence has further deepened the atmosphere of insecurity and fear among the residents of Bauda and its surrounding communities. On March 12th, Fulani herdsmen kidnapped 10 villages from Yungwan Yashi, Makiali, and Yungwan Muridoka villages. Over the last 6 months, Nigeria has witnessed countless attacks from Fulani herdsmen who adopt a comparable strategy to Boko Haram and ISWAP as they demonstrate a clear intent to target Christians and potent symbols of Christian identity. Christian leaders in Nigeria have expressed their belief that attacks by herdsmen on Christian communities in the country's middle belt are driven by a desire to forcibly seize Christian lands and impose Islam, as advancing desertification has made it increasingly difficult for herdsmen to sustain their livestock. According to the World Watch List, the violence has spread to the southern states, and the new jihadist terror group Lakurawa has emerged in the northwest with advanced weaponry and radical Islamist agenda. The report states that Christians and their communities remain frequent targets of raids, sexual violence, and killings at roadblocks, making Nigeria the 7th out of 50 worst countries for Christians.
Born at just 26 weeks and weighing under 1 pound, baby Barrett spent over 400 days in hospital battling life-threatening complications. His parents, Carly and Roman Brassfield, shared the emotional journey of his premature birth and long NICU stay. Now, after 403 days, baby Barrett is finally home, full of life, joy, and hope for the future. Baby Barrett, a micro-preemie born on June 6, 2024 at just 26 weeks and 3 days gestation, weighing a mere 481 grams, has finally been discharged and gone home for the first time after spending more than 400 days in the hospital. Carly and Roman Brassfield, who have openly shared their journey through Barrett's premature birth and prolonged hospital stay, announced the joyful news on Carly's Facebook page. Carly, a 33-year-old nurse practitioner from Alabama, discovered she was pregnant in early 2024 after a traumatic miscarriage and months of trying to conceive. Baby Barrett faced numerous critical health challenges due to extreme prematurity, including severe lung complications and infections. He spent 8 months in the NICU at UAB Hospital in Birmingham, followed by another 4 months at Children's of Alabama. After a remarkable 403 days in the hospital, Barrett has been cleared to go home. Reflecting on this milestone, Carly said, quote, "He's so full of life. He's so full of joy. You would never believe he has been in the hospital for 400 plus days because he's just so full of life," end quote. Although Barrett will be discharged with a tracheostomy, ventilator, and G-tube, doctors are hopeful that with a few surgeries and continued growth, he will be able to wean off them in the coming years. That's all for today. Until we meet again, God bless and thank you.